Hello, and welcome to the Nonprofit411 Podcast, where we explore resources and strategies to help nonprofit organizations thrive. I'm Sarah Barton, and today I'm excited to welcome guest Candace Cody from Community Boost to the podcast. Welcome, Candace.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to share with our listeners a little bit more about Community Boost. And you have an upcoming event that we want to talk about. But as we start, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and about your role?
So again, my name is Candace, and I'm the director of events here at Community Boost. And I've been here nearly 3 years now, just coming up on 3 years, December 1st, and it has been a wild ride and a absolute delight the whole way through. And so what I do, aside from many other events throughout the year, is I really head up the initiative around the Nonprofit Marketing Summit. And so it is a fully virtual event. We do it twice a year, and it's grown to become the largest conference for nonprofits in the world, which is a weird thing to say, but it is true by everything that I have found out there. So that has just been a delight to really invest and grow the last couple of years.
Well, that's exciting. That's amazing. Congratulations on being the largest in the world. That's really, really amazing. I think marketing for nonprofits is such an important topic. So can you tell me just kind of how you got involved in that work and kind of what goes into the summit, like what you want people to be able to come to and take away from the summit?
Yeah. So, I guess how I got into it, it really started even back in college. I was going to school, for actually film and English literature. But my friends and I would joke that my third major was nonprofit fundraising, mostly because I was really active on campus. I planned a bunch of fundraising events, all raising funds for different organizations that myself and a few friends were just really passionate about, and it kind of grew into a whole career. So 10 years later, still working with the nonprofits sector, and initially worked at a nonprofit for about 8 months. And then I worked at a fundraising platform for about 6.5 years. And I think it was really there that I learned so much about just the whole sector. Every day I was talking with nonprofits, helping them really figure out how to implement their digital fundraising and helping them get set up. And so I was talking with organizations every single day about their challenges that they were facing when it came to their fundraising, and really trying to help solve those unique challenges. And I noticed there's a lot of similar challenges across both small and large nonprofits. And so when it came time to step into a marketing role, I really feel like those years of working directly with organizations had really prepared me to have a unique perspective and be able to really provide valuable content for the sector. And so carried all that insight over into Community Boost, and really let that whole experience really fuel a lot of what we put out there for the summit, because we want it to be a resource for the sector. And it's actually such a big part of Community Boost's mission. Our mission is to scale social impact by growing thriving communities. And it's we can do that with our clients. We have about 500 nonprofits that we work with as an agency to help them scale their growth and really building up those communities for to really scale impact. And so that's part of Community Boost mission. We do that with nonprofits every day. But to really do that at scale, you need something bigger like the Nonprofit Marketing Summit, which is free to attend. It's fully virtual, so you don't have to hop on a plane or anything. You can just go right from your laptop and be part of this incredible conference. And so I'm just really grateful to be part of a team that is really prioritizing just accessible and free resources for the sector. And it's been really exciting to really headline that and spearhead that the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the digital world and being able to do these conferences virtually is really a game changer for a lot of nonprofits because, previously there was no way they could afford to attend many trainings in a year, if any, because the travel is really expensive. And so I think that it's amazing that you have this virtual platform to be able to do it on, and that it's free is even better. So when is the summit? When are the summits, I should say? I think there's one coming up, and then do you have the next one planned so people can put it on the calendar if they can't attend this one?
Yeah, well, so the next one's coming up real soon, next week, August 20th through the 22nd. And you can go to nonprofitmarketingsummit.org to explore all the upcoming sessions and the speakers. We have a really incredible lineup, and you can just go to the registration page and register free there to attend next week. And then it'll be all the same links and everything. So feel free to kind of keep nonprofitmarketingsummit.org bookmarked. But our following event is going to be March 4th through 6th, 2025.
I knew you probably had it planned, so I'm glad that you have it on the book so that our listeners can get signed up if they miss this one, which is next week. So tell me a little bit more about Community Boost and what else you guys do.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, our mission is to scale social impact by growing thriving communities. And we do that in a number of ways, just by really powering digital marketing for our nonprofit clients. So yeah, we have about 500 nonprofits that we work with right now, about half of which, or maybe a little more than half, are on our agency side. So it's basically, serving organizations that are really looking to expand their reach and grow their community online. And we'll take a look at really what they're doing when it comes to marketing and spotting all of their biggest growth opportunities. And so we do a lot of Google ad grant management, a lot of paid search advertising, meta advertising, but we also do SEO, email marketing, and just so much more. We have so many offerings. And so it really can be a full service package for our clients. And then on our accelerator side of things, we have, and this is like best for especially maybe like smaller organizations that are looking to grow and figure out how to do marketing for themselves. And so this is our package that includes courses that are taught by all of our pros here at Community Boost, but then we also do office hours. And so it's not just like, here's a course, hope that goes well for you. We actually sit down weekly, basically, with all of our accelerator members and try to ensure that they're on the right path to growth and get all their questions answered. But it's also become a really cool opportunity for our members to actually give each other ideas and feedback. And so that's been really great. So there's this whole interactive community that's come out of the accelerator program too, which has been really cool.
So that's neat. So I kind of wonder, what is the biggest mistake that you often see newer nonprofits making when it comes to marketing?
That's a great question. I think the biggest mistake is probably doing too much. And so I feel like there's so many really great things that you can do for nonprofit marketing. But if you're a small team, you can't do everything yourself. And so you want to be really strategic and really focused about and be really choosy with what you're doing, because there's also like shiny new object syndrome is a thing. It's everywhere. There's, especially with like so much AI, and there's so many things out there. But you want to be really like targeted with your approach. And I really believe, just in like all of my years at like working with organizations, that it all starts from your community. So like I really, especially when it comes to marketing for small nonprofits, like starting with your community, getting your community invested in your cause is going to be the easiest way for you to expand your reach and um get more donations for smaller nonprofits specifically.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, working with nonprofits, I hate it when I hear we're the best kept secret, because when it comes to fundraising, I believe that organizations that have to fundraise, they see a problem in the world and it is their desire to help that problem. And fundraising is asking other people to join in on that, amazing way of solving this problem, right? And so I agree that they really need to help the community, just know more about them, their local community, because those are the people that will really make a difference. I hear from nonprofits a lot that, our community, they don't have the funds to support us. Do you think that's true?
I The short answer is I don't think that's true, but I also think that support can look different for different people in different capacities. So what that looks like is like number one, like small donations really matter. And especially if you like look at like recurring giving, like maybe a donor isn't ready to give $120 donation then and there, but they can give $10 a month. And that's something that I've really seen work well for a lot of organizations, because you get that recurring gift and it's sustainable, right? Like you have some expectation of what you're probably raising every month. There's about, what is it, like a 90% retention rate on recurring gifts. And so, you're likely keeping those people for the long term. And, people change jobs, they change their life, years down the road, they can really increase those gifts and, be part of supporting your mission in a bigger way. So I think it's just starting small, especially with those recurring gifts, can be huge, and also deepening those relationships with your community. But I also think on the other side of it is there's so much power in leveraging your community to share with their communities, because each person has all of these connections behind them that you don't know. You're not connected with them, but they are. And so like I mean literally worked for years in peer-to-peer fundraising and helping especially smaller nonprofits really tap into the power of peer-to-peer, and it was amazing. I mean, we saw like these organizations that were like, no, like our audience is just, they can't give, and then we would help them activate them as peer-to-peer fundraisers, and they'd raise twice as much as a regular crowdfunding campaign. And so that was something I always saw across the board, is like, if they can't give, who do they know? Can they share?
Yeah.
Even just a simple social post can be great, but especially if you can get them invested in peer-to-peer, I've seen that be really successful in tapping those communities that may not be ready to make a donation right now, but have the passion for your mission.
Yeah, I really do think that fundraising is about a lot about sharing your passion, and finding other people who are passionate about helping people. And there are a lot of great people out there. I always say we live in a coral reef, not a shark tank, and so we don't have to be scared about the people that we work with. I do agree that you can make just huge differences in the support for an organization by letting the people that you've helped tell other people how they've been helped or what they absolutely love about your mission because it's made a difference in their life. I think that we all, you know, we are the best resource. The people are the best resources at every organization. So can you study? Can you study? I'm sorry. Can you share your favorite case study or real life example of something of an organization that you saw just transformed using the strategies that Community Boost provides? Like one of the ones that just makes your heart swell every single time you get to tell it.
Ooh, that's a great question. There's so many really incredible organizations that we work with. I mean, we have Souls for Souls and Charity Water and some larger organizations, but I also feel like some of I mean, and they have incredible results, and we've seen them transform over the years, but some of the most profound results happen with smaller organizations as well. And so it's such a privilege to be able to really walk alongside these smaller organizations and see how we can help them drive growth. A few that come to mind, I know that we do a lot of work with Chicago Children's Theater,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been really great because like we'll run campaigns for their ticket sales. We'll also run like several campaigns just to drive more traffic to their website. And we've seen some really profound results with them. And it's just always a delight to work with the Chicago Children's Theater because they're a relatively, small theater, and the amount of engagement that they've gotten over the years has like probably tripled. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me,
Yeah.
but I know, and they've spoken at our summit a couple of times. That and San Diego Blood Bank. So Community Boost actually started in San Diego, is based in San Diego. So I'm in New York, but I feel like a San Diegan at heart. But
Mhm.
there's been so much that's come out of the San Diego Blood Bank because unlike a lot of our clients that we work with, they're not necessarily looking to raise funds, they're looking for donors. And so that has been something that's been really beautiful over the years. Like one of my favorite things that I've seen is that there's this really beautiful story of a girl named Camilla, and she requires a blood donation every couple of weeks just to survive. And we have, been able to create this whole community and this whole like ongoing story with updates on Camilla. And it's been really amazing because, with what we do a lot of, both targeting new potential donors, but also retargeting donors who have given blood in the past. And so we can go back to them and say, hey, like, thank you for your blood donation. Here's an update on Camilla, and really get people fully invested in like the story, and actually created this whole community around giving blood in San Diego. And so there's been like a lot of ongoing momentum with that, and a lot of like really beautiful things that have come out of that partnership.
I love that story. Thank you. One of the things that I have learned in my work with fundraising is that money is not always our um, greatest resource. I don't know that it's not the only resource that, that is required for nonprofits to really thrive. And I think, having the community know about us is really important, but then really seeing that impact is huge because it's about making the world a more beautiful place. And so being able to see it made more beautiful, like through Camilla's story, is really phenomenal. I love that. Um, what advice would you give to nonprofit leaders who might be hesitant in investing in external resources for marketing? You kind of touched on it that, they can't do everything, but is there any other advice that you might give them besides they can't do everything themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think to tap onto that or tack onto that is really to seek out the resources and support that you need, because you can't do it all yourself, but there's other people out there who can support you. And so, one of the things that I would recommend is just like seeking out communities of like-minded nonprofit professionals that can give you the support and advice to ensure that you're making those right decisions. Because there's people who have done, even if you're, maybe starting a nonprofit for the first time, or you're just trying to grow, there's people who have done it before you, and you can really get the advice from them to like help you steer in the right direction. And so I think like being in community with other nonprofit professionals is actually such a great resource for that. One of the things that we have at Community Boost is the Nonprofit Marketing Club. And this has been an initiative that we launched over the last year, just because we have seen how much nonprofit professionals can support each other and what the results look like. And so we actually we set up we use this platform called Circle, and it helps like actually create a community online. And it's, all through like the Nonprofit Marketing Club, people can join and connect with hundreds of other like-minded nonprofit marketing and fundraising professionals. There's more people in there. There's all nonprofit professionals of all kinds, really. But and it's been really incredible to see like this community thrive and support each other. And you'll pose a question, you get all these responses, and that's been great. And then there's tons of, more specific like webinars and resources and exclusive content in there that I have found to be really helpful. But other than just being in community with other nonprofit professionals, I think there's so much really, really, really good content out there. I mean, there's so many webinars, there's so many, blog posts and conferences and things, and a lot of them are free, and a lot of them have such incredible minds behind them. And so really just seeking out those resources I have found to be like really transformational. And you never know what you're going to pick up from something. Like I feel like even if you're like, oh, like, like I have to take an hour of my time to go sit on this webinar, but you might come away with just even one idea that changes the game for the next year for your organization. So you really don't know until you just immerse yourself in the free resources available to you. And there's a lot of great paid ones too, but there's tons of free stuff.
There's a lot of affordable ones. There's many of the paid ones are very affordable for nonprofit organizations. I think that's great advice. It's really kind of why Nonprofit411 exists, because there are so many resources, and I just want to help be a broker so that you don't have to search so hard to find the resources that are out there. So I really appreciate that. And kind of just in response to what you said about your community, nonprofit people are the kindest in the world. They really are. They are generally the helpers, and they love to be of service. So if you ask, you can find lots of great resources there. So as we wrap up, I want to ask you to, again, let our listeners know how they can find you. And is there anything else that you would like to share with them before we wrap up?
Yeah, well, my hope for all of you listening in would be that you go to nonprofitmarketingsummit.org and register for the Nonprofit Marketing Summit. Whether you're listening now and can get in for the August 20th through the 22nd one, that's great. And please shout out in the chat and just say hi to me. I'll be hosting all 3 days. But yeah, if not, then there's always March 4th through 6th, 2025. So we'd love to have you. And yeah, you can always go to our other websites, so communityboost.org, if you're interested in learning more about how Community Boost can help you scale your thriving community for your nonprofit. And there's tons of more like free webinars and resources there as well. And then we also have nonprofitmarketingclub.org if anyone wants to explore that. It's like $20 a month. You get like a 7-day free trial. So there's that resource as well. But ultimately, yeah, I'm just really excited for this upcoming conference. I think that it is a privilege to be able to put this on, and it's massive. Like I think we're gonna at least hit about 25,000 nonprofit professionals
Wow.
registered. And so there's been so many incredible things where it's like, yeah, like when you're planning something this massive and there's about, 80 sessions, all really education focused. We are offering, if you join live, you can get up to 21 CFRE credits. And then if you get our VIP pass, you get all the recordings, so you can get even more. You can get up to 50. So there's just like so much like really valuable content on there. But what I most look forward to, and it's just been mind blowing to work with so many really accomplished and really incredible thought leaders in the sector. But I think at the end of the day, my favorite thing is just like the magic that happens when people start engaging at the summit. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to, is just like there's thousands of like-minded nonprofit professionals on. And they're there to support each other as much as they are to learn. And so just really excited to be able to see that all comes together next week at the summit.
That is so exciting. I'm so excited for you. I can hear your passion in your voice. Well, thank you so much, Candace, for joining us today and for sharing all of your resources and about the summit. I do hope that our listeners get the opportunity to attend either next week or, at the following summit. We appreciate your time and all the expertise that you've shared with us. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Nonprofit411 podcast. If you would like to help us out, hit like and subscribe, and then share it on any of the platforms that you listen to your favorite podcasts on. So we look forward to talking to you again next week. Bye.